Sir, we are live now, so we can start.
Yes, sir. Can we start?
Namaskar and a very good evening to all. Welcome and thank you for joining the Utec webinar on rainwater harvesting, a home building essential. My name is Chandra Bhushan Sahu and I am the General Manager at UltraTech Building Solutions. 22nd March, what an amazing and auspicious day today is. It's the day of festivals. So wishing all the participants who have joined us from Maharashtra and Pune a very happy Gudi Padwa, a very happy Ugadi to all the participants of Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and other southern parts of the country. Today is also a first day of the Chaitra Navratra. So wishing all the North Indian friends a very happy, very Shubh Navratri, a very happy Chaitra Navratra, and most importantly, a very happy World Water Day to all of us. World Water Day, it was started by United Nations in year 1993, and today we are celebrating the 30th World Water Day. It was started to highlight the importance of fresh water, and this year's theme is groundwater, making the invisible visible. And our speaker for the day is the person who has done exceptionally well in the field of groundwater recharge. It gives me immense pleasure to introduce our speaker, Mr. Vijay Sishodia, one of the leading rainwater harvesting and environmental consultants in India. He's the recipient of the prestigious President's Scout Award and has extended his expertise and guidance in implementation of more than 246,000 rooftop rainwater harvesting systems. One small announcement, you can expect the speaker to have the floor for about 40 minutes. If you have any questions during the webinar, please type them into the chat window. We'll address them during the question and answer session. So over to you, Vijayji.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Good evening, everyone. Happy World Water Day to you all. In today's context, it is much more relevant because the world is facing a severe water crisis. Because of the climatic changes, we see that unprecedented rainfall, within a short span of time, the intensity of the rainfall has changed. The water table is falling down drastically, and we are facing a lot of water problems everywhere. Though the world is covered by about 70% of the Earth's surface is covered by water, and out of that 97% of the water is found in oceans, which are not usable for us. Only 3% of the water, Earth's water, is fresh water, and out of 3%, 2.5% of the water is in the form of glaciers, polar ice caps, and atmospheric water, and in the soil. And some of the water, fresh water, is highly polluted, which cannot be used, and a lot of water lies in the deeper surface of the Earth. So we are left with only 0.5% of the water which is available for us for the usage. Today we are day by day talking about the scarcity of the water. Why is this scarcity of the water, and what are the remedies? Today we are going to address these few of the things. The scarcity of the water involves water stress or water deficit or water crisis. This may be due to the natural phenomena or from the man-made factors. Some of the man-made factors are industrialization, erratic use of the water in the irrigation, domestic, etc. If you see in this slide, the water shortage and the excess water or the urban flooding are faces of the same coin, two faces of the same coin. You must have seen this year we had unprecedented rainfall, and come this summer, everywhere in the earth, wherever you go, whichever the cities you go, you find that there are a lot of tankers running around. Just 7 months down the line, 6 to 7 months down the line, we are facing water crisis. And in the rainy season, we faced a lot of flooding, urban flooding. So if we could have managed our water during the rainfall season, if we could have recharged this water and not allowed this water to go back to the sea, we wouldn't have faced this problem today. They say that out of the 17 countries which are going to face severe water crisis, India is in the top 5 position. Some of the major cities which will run dry out of the water are, Sao Paulo from Brazil, Bangalore from India, Beijing from China, Jakarta from Indonesia, Cairo from Egypt, Moscow from Russia, Tokyo from Japan, and London from England. We have seen this scenario because I come from the place which is in the second position here, which will run out of the water. And I have seen that the water table is falling drastically. Here we have already gone about 1,500 to 1,800 feet below. And though we have completed 5 stages of Kaveri, still we are not able to supply water to the whole of Bangalore city, and we have a severe water crisis. Though if you take India's scenario, we get about 1,270 mm of rainfall. Still there is shortage of the water. If you take the world's leader water saving countries as an example, the first name comes is Israel. In Israel, we get on an average they get only 100 mm of rainfall, whereas in India we get 1,270 mm of rainfall. With 100 mm of rainfall, Israel, with its latest water saving technologies and the most of the innovations that has done in the water field and agriculture field, it is able to supply water to whole of its Israel and is exporting water to Syria and the neighboring countries. But with 1,217 mm, we are still facing the shortage of the water. India is, in the last decade, if you see, we had the lot of water crisis, and it is affecting at least the quarter of the India's population, destroying countries, crops, and livestock. More than 300 districts in 13 Indian states are struggling with drinking water shortage, which is, which cannot be compared, when we are going for such as water stress. You can see that 54% of India's landmass is under acute water stress. If you take per capita availability of the water during our independence, we had about 5,000 plus meter cube of water which was available per person. But as it has been continuously decreasing, and already we have by 2011 and 2017 meters come as low as about 1,500 meter cube. Anything below 1,000 meter cube will be a distress, and it will lead to a lot of water crisis throughout the country. What are the reasons of water scarcity in India? Though we are getting 1,700, 1,270 mm of rainfall, what is the reason why we are facing this? You will be surprised to know that whatever the rainfall that is falling on the land, India, we are with all the dams, tanks, ponds, all put together, we are only able to save 35% of the water that is falling on our land, and 65% of the water is going as waste. That is because we are not able to manage this water, and over exploitation of the surface and the groundwater. And due to the rapid constructions, we have reduced all the traditional recharging structures. And then in agriculture, which uses the largest amount of the water, 75% of the water, fresh water, is used by the agriculture. And in that, they are inefficiently using this water with various furrow irrigation system, where flooding of the water and wasting of the water. And what has happened is, whatever the water is left in the ponds, rivers, and lakes, we have polluted them by draining all the waste products into the water, and all the water treatment effluents into the fresh water, and discharging the chemical from industries. You must have seen that, recently there was a news, which went viral and world over. The lake is on fire. It was unfortunately, it was from my place, Bangalore, because a lot of affiliates which were sent into the lake, the lake caught fire. So, this is the kind of the misuse or the abuse we have been doing with the fresh water. And for all this water shortage problem, the only solution is, to use the rainwater, because rainwater is the only primary source for all the water in the world. So we have to, in case we have to, make the country water surplus or at least water positive, then we have to take up rainwater harvesting in a massive scale. Each and every houses should be adopted with massive scale. Though rainwater harvesting has been made mandatory by many of the states, but people have not taken it seriously because they have never saw rain as a source of water. They have not thought that rain is a resource for water. So they have failed to adopt the rainwater. Many of the places they have found some shortcuts just to, show it to the authorities, so that they can save the fines. But if they can adopt the rainwater harvesting, I will tell you the benefits of the adopting rainwater harvesting, how it can benefit, as a person, as a country, and as the mother earth whole. Just to give you an example of how much the rainwater potential is, in Bangalore we get about, per day we are getting about 1250 mld of water from Kaveri. This water is pumped from about 110 kilometers, and at the height of 1000 feet. We are about 1000 feet above the source of our water. Per day, the electricity cost itself to supply the water to Bangalore is 1.13 crores. But just to give you an example, how much the potential of the rainwater, let's assume, just think that we are able to cover whole of Bangalore with a plastic sheet, and the amount of the water that falls on the plastic sheet, if it is collected and stored in the ponds. You must have read that Bangalore once was called a city of lakes. We had about more than 1000 lakes, and today we are left with only 97 lakes. But let's assume that if we could have means imaginary tree, if we could have collected all the water that is falling on this plastic sheet, and if we could have stored the water in the Bangalore, in the lakes and ponds and the reservoirs, we wouldn't have needed the water to be supplied from 108 kilometers. With the amount of the water which we could have collected, we could have supplied Bangalore 3000 mld of the water, double the water what we are supplying today. That is the potential of the rainwater. This is not only for Bangalore. Any city you take, even if you're getting 500 mm of water, 500 mm of the rainfall, you will be able to supply. If you are able to collect, store and recharge your rainwater, you will be able to supply the water from there and that source only. You need not supply water from a long distance, spending huge capex for building this infrastructure, spending a lot of money on their maintenance and a lot of money on the power bills. This all could have been saved and could have been used for a better purpose, if we could have understood the importance of the rainwater. So rainwater, actually, it is a very simple process for the house. We need to interconnect all the downtake pipes, and connect it to any of the filters which are available in the market, which are self-cleaning and maintenance-free filters. You can connect them, and after the filtration, this water can be let into your, any underground sump which you have, or the bore wells or the open wells. It is as simple as this, and you'll be surprised to know, for 1200 square feet of roof area, the whole installation cost, including the plumbing, pipeline, and the filter, may come to about 20,000. And if you take about, if you take average annual rainfall of India, which is about 1270 mm of rainfall, annually we will be able to collect about 1,20,000 liters of water, 1,20,000 liters of water, which can reduce the stress on the municipal supplies. Imagine, if we could have saved that much of water, how much the water bill we could have saved. As an individual, we could have saved the water bill. That much amount of the water wouldn't have come to the storm drain. Just to give you an example how this urban flooding are happening, let's assume that there is a street with 20 houses on one side and 20 houses on the other side. And let's assume that each house has got about just 1200 square feet of roof area. So for just 25 mm of rainfall, what you call as 1 inch of rainfall, one house will yield about 2400 liters of water. Now let's assume that 2400 liters of water which is let into the storm drain without being used or without being harvested, on one side of the 20 houses it comes to about more than 48,000 liters. On the other side it is 48,000 liters. In one street of just about 40 houses, if it is around 1 lakh liters, imagine the colossal quantity of the rainwater which is getting wasted. And this goes to the low-lying areas, and there is loss of lives and properties that is happening. If we could have saved this water in our house by adopting a simple rainwater harvesting system, we would have saved on, as an individual, we would have saved on our water bills and our power bills. As a city, there wouldn't have been urban flooding that would have saved lives and properties of the low-lying area. And then this water could have been recharged so that there would have been water which is available for the future generations to come, and the mother earth would have been much cooler place to live in. Because what has happened is we have extracted all the water by putting in the borewells from the earth, and because of this, the central hot, if you see earth center is the hot lava, red hot lava, and this water which was there in the ground acted as a radiator. What we have done is we have punctured this radiator, keep on puncturing it using this borewells and reducing. So the heat is increasing from the earth also, and because of the climatic changes above the earth. So it is a simple installation. As I told you, we just need to interconnect all the downtake pipes, bring it, and then you can install any of the self-cleaning filters, any of the good filters which are available in the market, and then allow the water to be stored. So the quality of the water is, compared to any other water on the earth, is the best water. This water can be stored if you put this rainwater after filtration and don't allow the sunlight and air to interact with it. This water can be stored for minimum of 100 years. I'm telling minimum of 100 years because that is the known time for which the water was stored and it was a potable condition. Because one Haveli in Jaisalmer which was locked for 100 years, they opened it after 100 years, and they found that there was a water in the tankas below. Because if you take the Jaisalmer, that Rajasthan area, desert area, and the Kutch area of the Gujarat, there every house has got a tanka below their kitchen. So all the water, rainwater that comes, they collect it, filter it, and store it in their tankas and use it for drinking and cooking, because they don't have got any other perennial source of water. So when it was tested, that water from that Haveli which was closed for 100 years and opened, and that water was tested, that water was still potable condition. So that is the reason I am telling you, the water, rainwater can be stored for 100 years with the potable condition. And you have observed that the water what we are retrieving from the borewells are millions of years old. That is the fossil water. In fact, that is still good. They say that that is the best water to drink. Now for us to understand a simple, as a for a layman, let's understand how much water that comes on my house. It is a very, very simple formula to understand that what is the roof area. We have to calculate the roof area in square meters and multiply it with the precipitation of the rainfall, which we can get it from our meteorological department or from the Google, or because there are many sources today which is available. So you have to just take the catchment area of your roof, multiply with of water. Maybe it is per hour water, or per day's water, or per year's water, whichever you want to know. And if you multiply these two, you will get the amount of the water that is falling on your roof and going waste. So you will understand how much water, precious clean water which is going waste from your house alone. So even if you don't install huge underground sumps to store, with just using the available facilities in our house, still you will be able to save more than 35 to 40% of your annual requirement of the water. If in any place of earth you are there, with the minimum investment, without extending any of your storage capacity, by using all the existing storage capacity whatever you have at your house, still you will be able to save about, you can reduce your consumption by minimum 35 to 40%. In Bangalore, there are many houses which don't depend upon the grid water at all. They don't have borewells or nor they buy water from the municipalities. They just live on rainwater alone. If they can do it, probably everybody can do it. We have to we should have a determination of doing it. So there are many other ways also where we can save the water in as the individual level, because I'm talking to all of you today as the individual level how we can save the water. One is the foremost important is the rainwater harvesting, which we can do it with just a little investment of as low as 20,000 rupees for a house. And then if you're building a new house, then you can go for gray water usage for flushing. What is happening is per day per person we use about 40 liters of water for flushing alone, just to push the yellow. This is drinkable quality water which is coming in your tap, which you are using for flushing, which is a crime. We could have used all our bathing water, whatever the water coming from your washrooms, the bathing water, your hand wash water, and your washing machine water. This could have been, with the simple changes in the plumbing system, could have been used for flushing. So you could have given one more lease of life to this water. And in the bigger apartments, what happens is this whole water, this gray water mixes with the sewer water, and then the whole STP capacity has to be increased. STP is sewer treatment plant, with that capacity has to be increased. So there is a lot consumption of chemicals and then power, and this water is getting wasted. Instead of that, if you could separate the sewer water line separate and the gray water line separate, you could give one more lease to the live water, and then this can reduce huge cost in treating the water, majority of the cost. And this will also reduce your consumption, because on an average we consume international standards about 130 liters. So if you remove about 40 liters, 40 to 45 liters, if you remove, so you're left with only 90 liters of water to be used. So this can be used for your flushing as well as your gardening. Then you don't require very high sophisticated filter. A simple activated carbon charcoal filter will take care of the cleaning of this, and this water can be used. And one more, the simplest thing we can do tomorrow morning is adopting the aerators to all the existing taps. What happens is, in the taps, if you see, there is a huge water going on. Particularly in apartments, if you have a 10-storied apartment, the pressure will build up by the time you come down, and the water will be gushing out of your tap as soon as you open the tap. So what you can do is, there are a lot of aerators which are available today, which take air and mixes with water and reduce your water consumption in a very big way. These are retrofit. It can be installed to any of your taps, particularly to your kitchen taps where the maids wash the utensils. You must have seen, it is common practice everywhere in everybody's house that the maid will leave water, and by the time she enters to the kitchen and starts cleaning, till the time she goes out, this tap will be running out with full this one. So we can adopt the aerators over there, and in our showers and all, we can take lesser showers. You can see the difference here. A tap without aerator, it will in a 1 minute 15 liters of water will go. Whereas if you install one small aerator which is costing about 45 to 60 rupees, only 3 liters of water, so you are using 80% water less, and you will not feel that. It is not that our hands will not be washing our hands properly, and you'll be able to wash your hands in the same manner as you're washing with 15 liters, because we require only that much of water to wash the hand, but the rest of the waste water which would have otherwise gone could be arrested. So that will be it will go in a very long way in saving your water bills. Second is this taking off the permeable pavers. If you just go out of your gallery and see outside, each and every inch of the land which is available, seeable, is covered with either with the tar or some paver blocks or this one. There is no place for the water to percolate at all into the earth. It is unfortunate that even the school grounds these days use paver blocks to cover the playgrounds or synthetic mats. It is so unfortunate. We have forgotten, we ourselves called as the most advanced in the terms of technology, but It is unfortunate to tell you that our forefathers were more literate in water literacy, was more among them. If you see, each and every temple has got a temple pond. There were so many open wells, there were so many chakvans. They knew so much about water saving, which we have forgotten today. This is only in last 30 to 40 years we have gone to this extent. If you take Borwellikarana in India, it started in late 60s and early 70s. And we thought that borewells are infinite. Today, after 40 years, we are coming to know that that is not true. Because in my place from where I come, Bangalore, out of the 10 borewells drilled, we get water only in 4 borewells. And that too at the depth of 1,500 feet. Cost of drilling borewell alone comes to about 3 lakh rupees. And imagine if that borewell you don't get water, what is the status of a person? So, and out of these 4 borewells where we get water, in the first year of operation, 2 borewells dry up. So our strike rate of water has come to as low as 20%, and this scenario is everywhere. Even in the Gangetic belt, where we had water at sub shallow level at 10-20 feet, today the water is at 200-300 feet. This is happening in each and every city. In the Gangetic plains, where we would have never dreamt of seeing tankers, today you can see lot many tankers going around. So this is the slowly we are getting into that phase where we'll have water crisis. This is the small few methods which in the houses we can save the water, thereby reducing our cost of the water as well as doing a human service to Mother Earth. Now in India, about 75% of our somehow population is somehow directly or indirectly connected to agriculture. And out of the water that is used, the fresh water that is used in this country, more than 75% of the water is used for agriculture because of our practices which are not in favor of that. So you can see this, we generally power is given free to all the farmers. So what they do is in the night they switch on the borewell and go, and whole night, because they will switch on the borewell, as soon as this power comes, that borewell will start until morning. When he comes back next day, the water will be flowing, or until the government stops the power. So in the whole of the night they just allow the water to do the furrow irrigation. By furrow irrigation, what is happening is, though the plants don't need water, the water is keep on going, because he is not bothered about doing best irrigation practices. So that being the case, it is not only spoiling the water, but it is spoiling the soil also, and productivity of the farmer is coming down. That is one point. So what we can do is, we can have, like Israel did, we can go for drip irrigation system and sprinkler systems, which will reduce the consumption by more than 60%. So that will reduce. So agriculture, though after the green revolution, we had lots of challenges for the food security of the country, but today we are facing the water security of the country, and this water security of the country will lead to the food security of the country also. If we don't have water, how will we grow crops? And by putting a lot of water, we are destroying the soil, and that will lead to the reduction in the crop. So it is all interconnected. The water, it is interconnected, and everywhere water is needed. In our body also, like in Panchabhutas, water plays second place. Out of these 5 elements of life, water is in the second place. So water is very much and there are a lot of improvements today has been done, wherein you have to just water to the root zone. This is called gutuk niravari, wherein a gutuk ek gutuk pani se bhi hum पेड़ पौधे को बचा सकते हैं. So in this, what you're doing is, in the drip irrigation also going one step further, instead of wetting the surface, because if you wet the surface, there is a 50% evaporation losses. To avoid this evaporation losses, what you can do is, with this simple system, what you see in the screen, you can take this water to the root zone and only wet the root zone where it is required, and not wet the surface, so that the evaporation losses is avoided. So in the drip irrigation, we already use only 40% of the water what we use from the furrow irrigation. In this, again, out of this 40% also, it is hardly 20% of the water is required. And then if you see, what we can do is, we can have lot of farm ponds in each and every farm. So 1 acre of land, just 25 mm of rainfall, 1 lakh liters of water comes on this farm. Out of this, hardly 20% percolates because of the clay mix soil at the top. And second is, if you see in the last 10 years, the intensity of the rainfall has changed because of the climatic changes. Because of that, the intensity, in a short span of time, there is a huge spell of rainfall. All this water will flow off, because only when the water is falling slowly, the earth can take, because water in the earth moves from capillary action, from higher concentration to lower concentration very slowly. It is not that it will go like it goes in the pipe. So if you can have a farm ponds and save this water, those many days at least will not take the water from the deeper aquifer. We can save this water by not only saving this water, when we are stopping this water by chuck bunds and that water saving, this one we are seeing that the topmost fertile soil, which is hardly 8 inches, which is stopped, it is not flowing away. So this is a dual system, wherein you save the water, also you are saving the precious soil, topmost fertile soil also. And now that lot of technologies have evolved in the last 10 years, wherein you are using foam ponds with high density polyethylene liners, and then further they are closed, so that the evaporation losses and the percolation losses are avoided, and then you can have one crop out of the one or two crops from this stored rainwater alone. Apart from that, now whatever these traditional dug wells were there or open wells were there, we have forgotten them completely. In my childhood days, it was only the open well from where each and every person used to remove the water, either for drinking or for irrigation purpose, and then they were used to it. So what has happened is, after the advent of this borewell, we have forgotten these open wells in completely. We have made them as a, either as a pit, waste pits, or we have closed them. Now, how much importance these open wells play in vital, in saving the water? What happens is, after one or two rainfall, whole of this subsurface gets saturated, because we are not removing this water from the subsurface, but we are just removing the water from the deeper aquifer, from the borewell. Earlier, there were open wells, everywhere, so the people used to remove the water from these wells, so the subsurface water would have been emptied. So again, the subsurface would be ready to take the water inside it. That is one of the major reasons you see that even the villages are getting flooded today, because we have stopped using this subsurface water. And tell you friends, subsurface is the purest form of the water, softest water, because as we go deeper and deeper in the borewell, the quality of the water deteriorates. There are a lot of salts which will get, hardness will increase, salinity will increase, there will be arsenic, fluoride, all these things. But if you take well water, it is the softest water which is required for your farm also. So we should advise farmers so that they should have these open wells, farm ponds, which is the fresh water, which gives good help for their crop also, and the productivity also increases. And one more, this one is the Kalyanis. If you see, each and every temple had a temple ponds. What we have done today, if you go to any temple ponds, it is either closed, or lot of muck is lying this. I was, as I told you earlier, our forefathers were so much water literate. They knew how to save water. So that is how they used to save, and this was a reservoir in the case of drought. So we should see that all these Kalyanis can be rejuvenated. This is one of the Kalyanis which was more than 150 years old. This is personally rejuvenated by me in the last World Water Day. This was inaugurated. If I had shown you the picture of what it was and what we made with the help of the Rotary Club Bangalore Basangudi, we could rejuvenate, and today it is full with water. And believe me friends, today it is such a recreation spot for it. As you know that water gives such positivity. You go and stand. Why we go visit all the beaches and sea? Because water is, we have been connected, because 70% of our body is made up of water. So there is a connect. As soon as we see water body, and we feel so positive, that is the connect we have with the water. And we can even recharge the borewells. We have been digging the borewells and forgotten to recharge them. That is the reason borewells are drying day by day. We can recharge this borewell in a big way. We can use this water to use different technologies which are available, like B-wire injection wells, which can be used to recharge the borewell, which whole of the runoff rainwater can be recharged into the borewell, and the borewells can be rejuvenated. We can not only improve the quantity of the borewell water, but the quality of the borewell water can be improved because of the dilution of the water, because rainwater being the purest form of water and the softest water, we leave this water after filtration, and this water is allowed. If it is roof water, you can allow the water directly into the borewell, or else if it is surface water, then you can go for the injection well, rewire injection well technology, wherein by side of the borewell you bypass this overburden of the clay and the non-permeable zone, go to the first permeable zone and leave the water, not to the aquifer but to the first permeable zone after filtration, and this can recharge our and rejuvenate our dried and the depleting borewell. We, whichever borewell was giving water, if we can adopt scientific technology, we can rejuvenate back, we can give back the life to these borewells. And in this picture you can see, the water otherwise would have gone down because of the gradient, it would have flowed down, and this is the borewell where you can see my cursor is the borewell, and it would, this whole water wouldn't have recharged this borewell at all, because whenever it rained, all the water would have gone to the down because of the gradient. Now, by adopting this innovative technologies, you can see that we have made a sill trap over here, and all this water is allowed to percolate into the ground to the first permeable zone. Thereafter, it gets filtered through the earth crust, and these are recharging the borewell. So, a lot of government is taking lot of initiatives to save water. Today, even our Prime Minister is stressing on saving the water. Har boond bachao is the slogan given by our Prime Minister also, and they constituted a separate ministry as a Jal Jeevan water ministry, and today they have earmarked 21,000 crores just to save water, as a Jal Jeevan mission, to supply water to everybody and to save the water, to rejuvenate the all the water bodies, and in Atal Bhujal to recharge the ground. They have earmarked about 4,500 crores. So government is taking a lot of initiatives. It is not only the government which can do, it has to be a vast movement wherein each and every one of us have to join hands to save the water. Then only we can prove the surveys which have been done and told that India will be one of the top 5 countries which will be water starved. We can prove them wrong if we all join hand together and save the water. Though they have made it mandatory everywhere in the industries, not even a single drop of water, rainwater, they can leave it outside. That each and every industry has to be zero discharge. They cannot allow the rainwater to go out. Either they have to reuse the water, or they have to recharge the water. So that is made mandatory. And if you come to my place, Bangalore, they have made it mandatory that each and every house which is more than 2,400 square feet, any old house, need to be rainwater harvested. If you don't do rainwater harvesting, 30% of your first 3 months, 25% of your water bill, they will fine it, and in next 3 months they will take this fine to 50%. In last 3 months they have collected more than 15 crore rupees as fine. We have got so much of educated population, but still people are ready to pay the fine. But by just installing a small rainwater harvesting, by investing just 20,000 rupees, they are not ready to do. That is the lethargic attitude we have. So I am coming to the end of this, because I want to have this session more interactive, and probably I have tried to cover major why we should save the water, one. And it is our social responsibility also. As a human being, we have to leave the, they generally say, we have not borrowed, we have not inherited this earth, but we have borrowed this earth from the future generations to come. So our forefathers had left this world beautiful for us, and we have to leave this world because we have borrowed it from our next generation. So as a social responsibility also, to safeguard the future generation. What is the point in me building a beautiful house with all the beautiful things, and then next day morning my child, when he goes and finds that there is no water? You must have observed that lot of civilization in this world have been wiped out because the water was not there. You take Indus Valley civilization, you take Mesopotamia, you take Nile Valley, you take many, you world over, if you go and see, so many civilization vanished because they were not careful about their water management. So taking this to the end, I want to request you one. On this World Water Day, we take a pledge that in whatever form, if we are able to reduce our water consumption, we'll be doing a human service to Mother Earth. In India, water is worshipped as God. You take any religion, Hindus, Muslims, or Christians, it is worshipped as God. Any of the rituals we start with Ganga Puja. So all our rituals of worshipping water is just has been confined to our puja rooms. But now we will have to bring it out and see that we'll have to worship water by saving it. We'll be surely blessed for this. Thank you so much. Thank you one and all. Any questions are there? To my best of knowledge, I would be able to answer them, sir.
A beautiful presentation, Vijayji. Thank you for enlightening all of us on this amazing topic, rainwater harvesting. So we have received lots of questions. So what I have done is I have bucketed these questions and so that we can answer most of them. We can address most of them. Okay. So I would start with the the most funniest question we have received. So the question is, how do we know if the recharged water is helping my borewell and not going to the neighbor's borewell?
Correct. Yeah, probably I know that all of us are very selfish. That's a very good question also. But what happens is generally, let's understand this.
Not able to hear you.
Sir, can you hear me, sir? Hello? Sir, so if you see that, this borewell's water, whatever we are drawing is from a confined water table. So let's assume 3 of us are using the same water table, so if we don't recharge, all the 3 of us will lose. Instead of that, at least if one is recharging, as you rightly said, it may go to my neighbor also. But according to this water, see, water always flows from higher concentration to lower concentration. So when you are recharging, your borewell, first the layer that gets recharged is your borewell. Only then, if there is excess water, it flows down. And if you're recharging aquifer or water table there continuously, so it is a confined water table. So those many people are there in this water table will get recharged. And one thing is there, key, whatever the water we are getting is free, either from the sky or from the ground. So we cannot be so much selfish that only I need water and nobody else. So as I told you, it is a human service. If you're recharging, you'll surely be blessed and have more water in your borewell as well as your neighbor's borewell also.
Right. So second question is also related to borewell only, Vijayji. So there is one question that what if I don't have a borewell at my house and I want to do the rainwater harvesting?
Yes, sir. So what you can do is, if you don't have borewell, because a lot of houses in the urban areas cannot afford borewell, as I told you, borewell drilling costs 3 lakh rupees and on in our place, and same. So what you can do is, first of all, you can interconnect all the downtake pipes, bring it to a common point, put a filter, and take the water to your sump and reuse it. The excess water, if any, you can make one recharging structure, just about 10 to 15 feet deep pit, and allow this water to go into the earth. So that is the simplest way you can do. In your car driving yard or parking area, you can just make a pit and close it back again, and just leave the water to the recharging structure. So that will take care of it, sir. Any excess water can be recharged into the earth.
How much this structure is going to cost to a customer?
Because if you have to make a 10-feet structure, sorry. So if you have to make a 10-feet structure, it may cost you around 12 to 15,000 rupees. This is I'm talking about 3 to 4 feet dia and about 10 feet deep. This structure will cost you about 15 to 20,000 max to max. Digging.
So there's one more. There's one more question we have received on this. That so one of our participants has asked this. So from foundation to finish, it takes almost 12 months to construct a house. So
Correct,
exactly at which stage of construction he should plan for this rainwater harvesting installation?
Yes, sir. It's a very good question. Yeah.
Foundation stage only the customer should plan, or he can plan
Yes,
it in
sir.
the finishing stage?
During initial stage, they have to contact any rainwater harvesting implementer, because to know the size of the underground sump, to identify what is the amount of the water they will get and how much should be the sump they should make. That is only consultancy. Only thing they require proper this one is when they put their roof, the final roof, the topmost roof. At that time, when they are bringing their downtake pipes from the roof, that is the time they need to consult a implementer, sir.
Great. You have told us that Bangalore Water Supply and Sewerage Board has started penalizing the customer, but
Yes,
India
sir.
is a diverse country. So this is my own question, and I'm in Mumbai, and here we receive around the annual rainfall here is around 2400 mm. But if
Yes,
I
sir.
go to Bundelkhand, the average rainfall is somewhere around 800 to 900 mm. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So although the
Yes, sir.
average rainfall in India is 1236 or around 1230 mm, but
Yes, sir.
there is a contrast, okay, from western part of the country, which receives a good amount of rainfall, and then there are countries which are really water stressed. So
Yes, sir.
what is it that the different government bodies or the agencies are doing to educate the customers and to ensure that people are really going for the rainwater harvesting installations?
Yes, sir. So as you had told you, sir, Jal Jeevan Mission is one body which is constituted, wherein they are addressing that every drop of the water which is going wasted should be saved. And also they are spending a lot of money in educating the people, and they have formed a lot of bodies which are taking care of these old structures which have been either polluted or so. So you see a lot of activities these days is happening in each and every city. 21,000 crores is earmarked for this, wherein they want to rejuvenate everything. They want to save every drop. Each and everybody should go for cleaning of the open wells. If you see our Prime Minister's Man Ki Baat, which he speaks every month, you see in many of the Man Ki Baats he makes it a point that he takes it up, with the water literacy. Talks about water literacy, talks about that. So today it has been very widely published, and if you see lot many government organization have been activated to save water. Even if you take national highway today, they are thinking of harvesting the rainwater on the both the sides of the road. That's mandatory. So everywhere, any of the buildings they do today, it has been made mandatory in the government. So government is leading the way, and it is showing, and believe me, in Bhubaneswar, that Orissa, one state, has earmarked about 150 crores. Wherein each government has come forward to, you just tell that you want rainwater harvesting, and they will come and do everything free of cost, total free of cost. So imagine they have planned to have about 30,000 such installations in the coming years. So each and every government is coming forward today, either to rejuvenate, and even the green building, national green building terminal is very, very strict. If there is a water body, at whatever cost, they are not giving permission. So activism about saving water is already in place. It is the people who have to understand, we have to contribute a bit in the government's endeavor to save water. That will help, each and everyone. This water saving has to be a mass movement. As I told you, tomorrow morning, if out of all the participants here today, at least install the aerators to the tap, that would be a great thing for organizers, who have taken so much of pain in organizing this seminar today, and making the things happen. At least if you can spend about 500 rupees and see that all our houses have got one aerator, that would be a fantastic thing to start with. And then we can always go for rainwater harvesting. And if you're building new houses, please see that you adopt grey water. It will go in a very long run. You will surely be remembered for your by your great grand children's key. My grandfather was so much of water literate, and so much pro nature. So everybody has to put in their bit. Every drop of water will make a mighty ocean. So we'll have to, all of us have to put in our little efforts to make it as a mass movement, and then we can prove everybody who has told that India will be water starved country.
Right. And to add on to what you were just saying about the aerators, in fact, Indian Green Building Council has identified this aerator as a Green Pro certified product. and any house builder will get 1 point if he's planning to go for the green home registration or the green nest registration. So for the using of aerators, he'll get 1 point. Okay.
Fantastic.
So that's really great. So this is one question which I think it's for, I think I'm supposed to answer that. So one of the participant has asked us and mentioned that thanks UltraTech for organizing this webinar. But apart from organizing this webinar, what else this company is doing to promote and facilitate the customers for rainwater harvesting installation? So participants, in India, we have got around 18,000 addressable pin codes. When I'm saying addressable, that means so there are very if you go to upper parts of Himachal, so there are if you go to Lakshadweep or Andaman and Nicobar, so these are the areas we are not considering as addressable pin codes. But out of the 18,000 addressable pin codes, we have got 13 service providers with us and 421 UltraTech building solutions dealers have been made serviceable to provide end-to-end solutions to the customers, to the house builders. So that is one. We have not only provided the right kind of material to these dealers, but their plumbers are also identified and trained so that whenever these dealers are getting any kind of request for the installation, these plumbers can go to the sites, they can assess the site condition, and then accordingly the quotation can be given to the customer for doing the installation. And we have got one platform as well, Utec, for the individual house builders, and they can raise the service request there for the installation. And we have also empowered all our partners like engineers, architects, our dealers. They can raise the service request on behalf of their customer, and accordingly the service request will go to the will be assigned to the partner or to the dealer to address the lead. So that is what we are doing.
Fantastic, sir.
And for
Really commendable job you are doing. Hats off to you and your team, sir.
Yeah, thank you, Vijayji. And yeah, so there's one more question. If the construction of a house has just started, what things needs to be taken care for the installation? Can the installation be done in the beginning?
No, installation has to be done only after the last floor's top slab, sir. Only thing is, when they started the construction, they need to increase their tank size. If they have planned to build about, see, for 1,000 square feet of roof area, 1 square feet of roof area, the tank size required is 4 liters. That is, thumb rule. So let's assume you have got 1,000 square feet of roof area. If you have planned to build 6,000 liters of your tank for your water, kindly increase it by another 4,000. That's it.
And one more question is on the subsidy. This thing that is there any benefit or subsidy given on the installation?
As of now, no state except for Orissa is giving any subsidies. In Orissa, though, as I told you, 100% they are giving subsidies.
They are running
But
one
they have started
program as well.
Yeah,
no?
yeah, under the Chata program, they're giving that subsidy, for any of the housing build. But other than that, no other state, they have started penalizing. As I told you, in Karnataka, you get penalty. You can, on your water bill, you'll see that 25% or 50% penalty. But you see, as of now, if you take any of the state, water is such a subsidized product. It cost about more than 60 rupees per kiloliter. For 1,000 liters of water, for government it cost about 60 rupees is the costing for water, and government starts to give the water at 5 rupees kiloliter, because government thinks that it is their duty to supply water. It is giving the water at very subsidized rate. So we should also join hands and just spend 20,000 rupees. When we are building a house of 30 by 40 at 1,200 square feet, will not cost, anywhere you build will not cost less than 50 lakh rupees. Do you think hardly 20,000 rupees will matter? And this is going to sustain the mother earth. The sustainability of the water is taken care. So it is hardly any money. And the return of investment, which I didn't mention, if you are buying tanker water, by paying 100 rupees per kiloliter of water, which is the same rate pan India, it is the return of investment is hardly 3 years. And if it is municipal water also, in 7 years time you get back all your money, and rest of your lifetime till your house is there, it is free of cost. And the quality of the water, any time the rainwater is minimum 10 times better than your municipal water. If you cook in rainwater, I can promise you will never again will use any other water for cooking. That is my promise. And what we have studied, if you take bath in the rainwater, you will never again take bath in any of your municipal water. That is that beautiful water. This time when it rains, my friends, just try it. Just for a small experiment you do, and you will understand the beauty of the rainwater. Take 1 glass of rainwater and 1 glass of your municipal water. Take 1 spoon of turmeric powder, 2 spoons of turmeric powder, add 1 spoon to the rainwater glass, and 1 spoon to the your municipal water, and feel, smell the water. The fragrance from the rainwater will be minimum 30 to 40% more of the turmeric than your municipal water. You should see, you should do it this time to believe it. It's a very simple, you can do it and you will believe, because it's highly oxygenated water, the purest form of the water. The TDS of rainwater is hardly 30 to 40. The hardness is below 80, as good as your Bisleri water, naturally freely available Bisleri water. 20 rupees you pay for 1 liter of water, nature is giving you at free of cost.
That's amazing, Vijayji. So just now I have received one question. One of our participants is asking that in our area water is not available up to depth of 110 to 120 feet. We have done new bore up to the depth of 220 feet. What to do now?
My friend, you are blessed. You're still at 220 feet, and in my place we have crossed 1500 feet. So my friend, you please see that 1500 is the minimum depth we go, sir, in Bangalore. And out of 10 borewells, we get water only in 4 borewell. So my friend who has sent this question is still blessed. You are at still 200 feet. If you have got any borewells which have been dried up, which were giving you earlier water, that can be rejuvenated by using, Chandra sir will be sharing my numbers, for any of your requirement to install and implement these things. You can always contact us, me, or you can raise, as Chandra sir was mentioning, there is an UltraTech app which you go and raise, you'll get all the consultancies. It's a wonderful app, which they have made it, Utec app, wherein you can go and raise your queries and you can get the consultancy for recharging your dried borewells as well as doing the rainwater harvesting. So you should make use of that app, which they are spending huge money in the interest of the public.
That's really great, Vijayji. And to participants, for all the questions that are not answered, we will respond to your questions on email. If there is something which we know and we can answer, we'll do it. Otherwise, we'll send those questions to the Vijayraji and we'll request him to answer those questions. And it's 5:59, so we are on time. And thanks to all the participants for taking out some time on this festive day for joining this webinar. And thank you very much, Vijayji, for this wonderful and beautiful presentation. Thank you again for answering those questions. And it was a pleasure to have you with us. So participants, this concludes the webinar. Thank you all for attending. I hope you have learned and enjoyed the presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, one and all. Thank you. Very good. Presentation.